name's Chris O'Neill. I live in Somerset County in the town of Smithfield, and I'm here representing Friends of Maine's Mountains. Friends of Maine's Mountains was formed 10 years ago when the wind industry began to get a foothold in Maine. Its pretty much sole purpose is to oppose wind energy in Maine on the basis that the impacts exceed the benefits. The mantra of FMM over the years has been that once people learn about those impacts and benefits, they learn to tolerate wind energy much less. Somerset County has had its own experience with which I'm sure you're familiar. The opposition level to wind energy has grown and blossomed, particularly when you get up around the Moosehead area in the last couple of years. I'm here because FMM is an intervener in the case at PUC, and we're following it in Massachusetts. Friends of Maine's Mountains originally said, let Massachusetts take care of its own energy needs. Let them build a nuke plant or something equal in capacity to what's being proposed. But then even Friends of Maine's Mountains came to the realization that we're not in a perfect world, and that regardless of the outcome of the NECEC, Massachusetts and southern New England in general will continue to view northern New England as its power plantation. So on balance, again, using the impacts versus benefits equation, Friends of Maine's Mountains has said they would much prefer to see the NECEC than the equivalent, which would be the Mars Hill Wind Project up in Aroostook County. You would need 100 of those to provide an equal amount of energy into the New England grid. You would need 30 Kibbe projects, with which I'm sure you're familiar, and 20 Bingham projects, about 20 Moscow dams. Put into perspective that way, one is more readily able to weigh those impacts and benefits. So when Friends of Maine's Mountains looked into it, the big concern was, does this corridor roll out a red carpet for further wind energy in Maine? On its face, the market will take care of a bunch of that. The RFPs that have been coming out of southern New England are increasingly moving more and more towards offshore wind. Yet, the wind companies and the wind lobby who oppose the project that's pending here in Maine are doing so because the market force on their ability to develop in Maine, particularly western Maine, would be acute. The ability for certain companies or any company to connect with an on-ramp from an AC power source to a DC power line would be exorbitant. The Bingham project is 185 megawatts. So for about a 100 megawatt plant, similar to Kibbe, it would be probably a $250 million project. They would need to spend about the same amount just for the converter equipment to connect onto the DC line. CMP wouldn't pick that up. We ratepayers wouldn't pick that up, but whoever the ratepayers are or customers for that generator, we would. That's a pretty high bar. It's not a guarantee that wind won't try to come. And as Mr. Carroll said, the corridor will be there regardless. If any CEC isn't using up that corridor, it's much more likely that the wind companies will. So the various steps that they would need to cover, they need to get a purchase agreement, a power purchase agreement with utilities down there who are ever sensitive to price sensitivities. They would need to fund the converter, as I said. They would need to be at the DEP for a wind permit. They would need to go to the DEP for a corridor expansion, clearing, and putting up transmission. And then likely they would have to have a visit at LERC. The PUC may or may not be part of it in terms of a certificate. Pretty high bar. Doesn't guarantee that wind won't come, but if anybody in Somerset County looks at the wind that's out there and the pending wind and says we don't want any more, the NECEC is a pretty surefire way to at least delay it, and if not, snub it right out. So you can quibble over whether it's extremely clean or very clean energy, but on balance. When you weigh impacts and benefits, you should come out thinking that if you're gonna get energy infrastructure here, get the good stuff. Thank you.